In today's episode, we're going to talk to Jim Campbell. Jim owns DeForest Kelley's 1968 Ford Thunderbird. If you're a fan of Star Trek or Thunderbirds, you're not going to want to miss this episode, so let's get right into it.
My name is McCoy. I'm a doctor.
Thank you, Jim, for taking the time to chat about your Thunderbird this evening and share it with my audience. I want to give the audience a little background of the car as I understand it. So it's a 1968 Thunderbird that DeForest Kelley bought new. He owned the car up until 1991. Then the car was traded in and kind of disappeared, maybe for 30 some years. And then it reappeared. You found the car and saw it as an important vehicle, something that had a history. It was not only a 1968 Thunderbird with a 429 in it, but also belonged to DeForest Kelley. So does that seem accurate? Is that pretty much the history? Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got it exactly right. And thanks for having me. It's great to be here. He was the original owner of the car. He ordered it at the end of 1967. I think he took delivery at the end of 67, but it is a 1968. It's one of the first Thunderbirds to have the 429 in it. Didn't come out until 1968. So it's definitely one of the early 429s. You know, I stumbled upon an article and I was a Star Trek fan when I was little, kind of looking for a project car, saw that it was for sale and called my wife, asked her if she would divorce me if I bought the car, and she said no. So next thing you know, I owned it. Car was in New York. I had to have it shipped all the way out to California where I live. Here it is right behind me.
So DeForest traded this car. He owned it for a long time. That would lead one to believe that he really liked this car. Is that your understanding as well?
Yeah, I have it on good authority that that is exactly the case. I never met DeForest Kelley, but I did get in contact with his longtime assistant, Chris Smith. Chris has been invaluable telling me stories about the car. Actually wrote a book about DeForest Kelley and their relationship. There's some stories of the car in there, but I do know that it was his pride and joy. He took very good care of it. He lamented the fact that he had to get rid of it. Chris told me that, and I think it might be in the book, that he would say, "I miss my bird," after he sold it. So yeah, he really did love it. He kept it for so long, right? You can kind of tell he had a love affair with it. He had it for over 23 years, I believe.
Financially, he could go out and buy whatever he wanted. So for him to hold on to a car like that for that long, he had to, like the car.
Absolutely.
I'm a doctor, not an engineer.
No, you're an engineer.
What was the condition of the car when you picked it up? Because it was tucked away, hidden away from the public for 33 years is a long time for a car to be out of circulation. What kind of shape was it in?
Well, there were a few owners in California, at least one owner after he sold it that was in California. The car ended up in New York, and I don't know how long it was there. I know that there were at least two owners in New York. When I got it, it was in pretty rough shape. You could tell that just the age of the car. I mean, it's a 56-year-old car, right? The last probably 10 to 15 years of this car's life, it wasn't well cared for. You could just tell. So it wasn't running great. The trunk was an absolute disaster. It literally had a bunch of garbage in it. It was soaking wet. It was rusted, but it was pretty rough. In fact, when I got it, I kind of thought to myself, oh my gosh, what have I got myself into? Because when you see pictures and videos, it looks a lot different when you get it in person. And it had taken a week-long trip across country too. So it was filthy, dirty. But just in general, it was in pretty rough shape when I got it.
For my Ford fans in the audience, the 429 Thunderjet 4-barrel car, what did you do to it? How's it running now? What do you think of that engine in that platform?
Yeah, it's a great classic American engine, right? Big block V8. I was thrilled when I learned that it had that engine in it.
I'm a doctor, not a mechanic.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble getting it started when I first got it. It needed to be tuned up. Things that I did was I put an electronic ignition in it.
Yeah,
and that's made a huge difference. It doesn't change the appearance of the engine. So when you open the hood, you can't tell that it's there, but it's there. And that made a big difference. The engine runs great. It's got 170,000 miles on it. Wow. So it's not new. And so I definitely baby it. But when this thing's on the freeway and it wants to go, it'll get up and go. And it's running great right now.
So, Jim, I found you on Facebook. Your page out there is Dr. McCoys Thunderbird. That's Dr. abbreviated for doctor. And I'm going to leave a link down in the description so some of the viewers can find you. There you'll get Jim's updates on the progress he's made. From looking at what you've done there, some of these things are pretty adventurous things that I've restored a lot of cars, well over 50 cars in my lifetime. I saw you replace the headliner. That's something I would have probably farmed out. It's not the easiest job. From what I can tell, some of the mechanical stuff you farmed out. So your background with vehicles, where are you at on that? And what are some of the repairs that you've done to the car so far?
Yeah, I've always had a love for old cars and kind of fixing things up. I'm definitely not a mechanic, and there's definitely things on this car that I have to take it in and get professional help, but I'm pretty good at taking things apart. I can change out some parts. I'm pretty good at making stuff look better. The trunk is a great example. That's probably my biggest victory. It was so bad when I got it, and it looks almost brand new if I can say so myself. But I just kind of you just kind of dig in and start working on stuff. And my motto is I don't want to break anything that's not already broken. And I'm also going to try to keep this car, because of its history, I'm trying to keep it as original as possible. So the headliner was trashed. It was hanging down. When I was driving it home after I got it, I couldn't see out the back window because the headliner was hanging down behind me. So I looked in my rearview mirror and I just saw headliner. So it was beyond repair. And I figured, well, I can't make it any worse than it is. So I went for it. I definitely didn't do a perfect job, but it definitely looks better than it did before. So yeah, I'm okay with fixing things here and there. But when it comes to major stuff, I've got to take it in and get some help with that.
You ripped the whole dash out of that car. I've done that 100 times. That's also not easy because you have different screws that go different, just different lengths and different types. And what was the goal, I guess, on that project?
I didn't take the whole thing out, but I took the front off. Couple things I wanted to do. I had a bunch of bad bulbs in there, and I wanted to get those working. The car didn't have a lot of bulbs that were working. All the interior lights didn't work. Sure. So those have all been replaced. Had some wiring and fuse issues, and I figured that out. I wanted to get the bulbs replaced in the dash. I love old analog clocks, and clocks notoriously don't work in cars. And I wanted to try to get this one working. So those were the two things I went in to get. Got the bulbs replaced. That was fairly straightforward. And I took the clock out and I watched a bunch of videos and I figured that out too, although it has since stopped. I've got to do it again and I may have to take it in to get it professionally done, but I did get it working.
That's going to lead me to like another question.
So given the history of this car, you're not considering a full-blown restoration. It seems like you're trying to elevate the car back to when DeForest owned it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it is. And I have a few pictures of him with the car that somebody took many, many years ago. And I've since met her and she's a big fan of the car. Her name's Tracy. In some of the pictures, you can see some little dents here and there that are still on the car. And I'm going to leave them there. I would tell people that really what I'm trying to do is when I got it, I wanted to restore the dignity of the car. It just looked sad. And I think I've accomplished that, but I want to keep going. But yeah, I mean, it's never going to be perfect. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in terms of paint, things like that, because the paint's not great on it.
I think that's the right thing to do, to elevate the car. I also want to mention that you've been taking this car to shows. You're sharing it with the public. You're letting them know that this was DeForest Kelley's car, which is awesome because the thing was out of circulation for 30 plus years. And here you are bringing it back. It's one of the original series stars cars. I don't know of any of the other vehicles. I don't know where Leonard Nimoy's Riviera is or Shatner's Stingray. I don't hear anything about those vehicles. Yeah. And it's just awesome that you're not going to restore it, because if you restore it, you do lose the history that comes along with that. And it's nice to hear that.
Yeah, and you're right. I kind of would like to just have it be sort of like when he owned it, right? Because I know that he took really good care of it. I just want to kind of sort of freeze that in time if I can. And certainly I want to get it working well. I want it's got to be safe. You know, my wife takes it for a ride once in a while. My two teenage kids take it for a ride once in a while. You know, everything's got to be working well. And it pretty much is. I've still got a lot to do, but safety wise, it's in good shape.
The fact that you're sharing it with the public, and I've seen some of the photos on your site where you're letting people sit in it.
Yeah.
And What kind of reactions are you getting from, and I would imagine these are probably more Star Trek fans than they are Thunderbird fans, but
I have both types and I have both followers on Facebook. The reaction that I've had, Tony, has been a complete surprise to me. I figured the Star Trek fans would get a kick out of the fact that it was DeForest Kelley's car, right? But I have seen this car move people to tears. Tears of happiness, it's tears of nostalgia. I've seen older folks going crazy for it. I've seen young teenage people that are huge original Star Trek fans go crazy for it. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't realize that the joy that this car was going to bring to people. And I think it's really neat because DeForest Kelley was famous for being a gentleman's gentleman. And he was also famous for being very generous and very nice to all of his fans. He really treasured them. And the car is still kind of touching those fans. And I think they remember what a gentleman he was. And you know, some of the people that come up at a show met him at a Star Trek convention and remember a great interaction. And now they can see his car. And so, yeah, I let him sit in it. That's another great reason why, you know, it's not a perfect car. It's okay to sit in it, touch it. I want to give people, you know, rides in it. Right. So that's been a really exciting part of owning the car and something that, quite frankly, I wasn't expecting to this level.
I know you've got some work to do on the vehicle yet, but you're willing to share a piece of the car with the listening audience. So they can find us through your Facebook page. This is a piece of the headliner that you replaced that's shaped in the Star Trek insignia. And what price are you selling these at? I have one here, so I want people to buy it. But
so the way that started was a lot of people were saying, the Star Trek fans were saying, hey, start a GoFundMe to help, you know, fund the car. And it is not cheap to get these old cars going and to keep them up to.
Especially that one, because that's not one you're going to find parts everywhere for.
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't want to do a GoFundMe, but I also had people asking for pieces of the car, like pieces of the trim and that sort of thing. So I came up with the idea to take that headliner material, although it wasn't working as a headliner. It's still got, the material is still in decent shape. And so I created those cards and I said, hey, give me a $25 donation. I'll send you one of these. All the proceeds for the car, for those go to the car. It's a great way for people to just own a piece of it. And again, another connection to the car.
And they can get those through your Facebook page. If they reach out to you there, you got some cost in that thing. You shouldn't have to pay to send the things out. And if you make a little extra money and it helps restore the car, I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah,
it'll offset things here and there. So if you go on my Facebook page and send me a direct message, I can get one to you. So
awesome.
I know you've got one on your back wall there. It looks great.
Yeah, I do. It's right beside my. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but I'll give you a close. It's right beside my William Shatner picture and my Starfleet Academy graduation certificate, which was one of my birthday gifts for my kids when they were small. Anything else you want to get in here, Jim, as far as to the fans of either Thunderbirds or the Star Trek?
No, I think I'm having a lot of fun with it. It really is a piece of American automotive history, and it's a piece of Star Trek history, right? So I feel a tremendous sense of responsibility to take good care of it. I feel like I'm the steward of the car, and kind of now that I know how people are reacting to it and how they felt about DeForest Kelley, I feel a tremendous sense of kind of keeping that legacy going for him as well. So I'm going to keep showing it to people. I'm going to keep making people smile and cry and, let them sit in it and give them a piece of it. I'm just going to keep doing it.
That's awesome. It's like I said, it's outstanding that this car hidden away for so long is back in the public eye and fans can enjoy it. So I think what you're doing, everything you're doing and the updates I've been seeing, tremendous, and just, it's great. Thank you for being on the channel, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you, Tony.
Oh,
What's the matter with you?
kidney dialysis.
Dialysis?
My God, what is this, the Dark Ages?
Here. Now you swallow that. And if you have any problems, just call me.
Hurry, Susie. functional?
Fully functional.
There you have it, Dr. McCoy's Thunderbird, DeForest Kelley's car of 21 years. It was hidden away for 32 years out of the public spotlight. It's now resurfaced. It has an owner that understands the car's importance and is elevating the level. He's not going to restore it, but he's going to make it nicer, make it usable, and share it with you, the American public. That's about as good a result as one could hope for. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. That helps other people see it. And also consider subscribing. There's plenty of content like this on the channel. I have this video right over here. It's on the Glamour Thunderbirds. We cover those cars in detail. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see you.